Hello everyone, my name is Lahith and welcome to Chess Lahith. In today's video, I'll be showing you two games, and in these two games, I'll be also showing you the reviews given by chess.com. And oh my god, these games you don't want to miss. So watch till the end of the video to watch every single part of this game because you don't want to miss it at all. The game starts off with my opponent playing c4, the English. Well, it's a very good opening actually for advanced players. Now I play knight to f6 and then he also develops his knight. I push the pawn, he develops the other knight. I protect the pawn, he pushes the pawn, I takes and then he takes with his knight. Very nice. It's also known as the old Indian defense. Doesn't make any sense. And I strike off with c5, according to the computer, it's an inaccurate move because I have to go first for development. But yeah, I want to attack the knight because it's quite disturbing. So yeah, he moves, and then develop my other knight. Best move. He goes with his bishop, pinning my knight to the queen, and I stop it by moving the bishop now. But now it's saying to move the other bishop. So now he takes, which is inaccurate, and then I take. Now I have a better diagonal, and he pushes the pawn, which was an inaccuracy again because the computer wants to keep the rook at the center and protect the pawn at all costs. But yeah, I castle. It was a good move. But the computer wants me to take the knight and create double pawns. Okay? He moves his bishop. I move the rook. Best move. He moves the bishop again because after I take the knight, he takes with the pawn and I win a pawn with check. So he moves his bishop twice, but he couldn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that because he can move the queen. Now I pin. He castles. Best move. I go off with the knight. Well, the computer still wants me to take the knight because it's the best move. You're creating double pawns, and that pawn only has one protection. So, yeah, great move according to the computer by my opponent, blocking the pin. I take with check, and then the queen takes. I push the pawn, and the computer still wants me to take that knight. But I'm a human still.
I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
So I don't take it. I push the pawn, preventing the knight to come into square into the b5 square. But I didn't take care of the d5 square. You will see what happens later. So he pushes his pawn, avoiding the pin. I move it back, but the knight is still pinned. The rook comes into the game, creating a battery, and then I move back again, attacking the pawn, although it's a bad move. And the computer wants me to strike and lose a pawn. Doesn't make any sense. So now the opponent goes d3, queen. It doesn't make sense because the pawn is getting pinned and all, but yeah, it's okay. And I made a huge mistake. The queen at c7. Later at the video, I'm going to show you at that same square, the mistake is going to happen. Well, we'll see later. He moves the rook now and not before when the computer said. And the computer says now it's an inaccurate move because now the knight can come at d5 square, where I said before, to fork both the queen and the bishop, which is bad. And then that goes on for a few moves, and then he finds it. Well, good for him. He is now winning with an advantage of 1.7. I move the queen, he takes, and then I take. Now, my turn. Well, technically, it's his turn. Now he moves his queen over here. Big mistake. Because now I take, he takes, and I push forward with the pawn. I'm creating huge attack now. But then he made another mistake. He took with the rook. You have to fight for the file. You couldn't just trade off like that. Lesson number one. Now I take back and now I have the e file, very important. But then he asks for a trade. This is bad because after I take and he takes, I go for the pawn at the back over here. He moves his pawn one step, I go for the other one. Now all the pawns are at the light squares. It is bad for him because now I'm going to gobble up all these pawns over here. And now he takes, I takes. Okay, fine. Now I have one less pawn to capture. But then he makes a blunder. He pushes this pawn. I am winning. I take this pawn. He moves the king. Best move. And then I capture the other pawn over here. Capture. And now I'm winning. I move the king. I bring it forward. I make some moves which the computer doesn't like, but most of them are best. I traded off the minor pieces and I'm winning by 2 pawns. And after over here, they're upside downs and all. I move my king. I block it. I make a red carpet for my pawn. I capture his other pawn. I make a queen. And then I get bored and make a rook instead of a queen under promotion. And now I give a check. He takes the pawn. I give a check with the queen. He moves. I move the rook. He pushes the pawn, the force move, and then it's checkmate. Well, over here, what's crazy is that this over here it creates an L shape. Like this is quite funny over here. An L shape, just it's crazy. Let's go on to the next game. E4 and I playing D5. Well, the Scandinavian defense. After he takes, I take with the queen. He attacks with his knight. I move it. He develops his other knight. I develop. He moves his D4 pawn, and then I develop my bishop. The game is normal so far. He plays bishop to D3 over here, trying to trade off the bishops and get an active queen. I decline it. Instead, I want my rook active. But instead of that, he declines my move. But he can still do that in the future. And castles. Well, that's a good move. But here's where I made the mistake. I pushed the C6 pawn. Well, even though according to the computer, that's an excellent move. But what happens afterwards is he takes control of the dark squares. So now I have no place to move the queen in these two squares except for the d8 square. Now I play knight to h5, attacking the bishop. According to the computer, it says that it slows my position. So my opponent over here takes the knight, which doesn't make any sense because you're taking a useless knight which hasn't moved and you're giving up a bishop which was active and helping in the dark square control. But I take it with the rook, and this allows me to castle at the queen side. Now he moves his knight over here, double attacking my bishop over there. I still couldn't take the bishop over there because his queen will get active. So what I did, I done a dumber move. I move my queen to c7.
Wait a minute!
Huge mistake. The queen at c7. Later the video I'm gonna show you at that same square the mistake is going to happen. 7. According to the computer it's a bad move, but for me it's a normal move because I'm a human.
I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
So now, the thing over here is, after he takes with the bishop, and then I take with the pawn, he goes over here. That's how the computer says. Now it has an outpost over here, and then after I try to kick it out, also, even if I try to kick it out, it may move somewhere like, let's say, over here, controlling the square over here, and then later on it may be like, I may do something stupid like this, and then at times I may get trapped. Well, not totally. That's a free pawn over here, but yeah, at some time I may get trapped. So we will go back into the game over here, and yeah, my opponent over here takes it with the knight, and now it's a missed move, and yeah, it's back to equal. I take it with the pawn, best move, because you couldn't take with the f pawn, or else it's even worse. So now my opponent over here develops the queen, thinking of squalor's mate ideas. But yeah, no, I just block it with the knight, or because I have should have gone back according to the computer, but I go forward because I want to be aggressive. He moved his bishop to c4,
I'm in danger.
a huge blunder, and shows mate in 2. How can you find mate in 2? Well, it may be easy for players like, sorry, easy for players like intermediate, advanced, or even grandmaster. Very easy. But for beginner levels, it's quite hard because they haven't reached the level of tactics yet. Or here, you give a discovered check. What does this do? Well, my opponent over here has 3 ways to capture it, and all the 3 ways where you capture this knight will eventually lead to checkmate over here. Well, let's say he moves over here. I'm still doing it.
Lounge rooms across the nation. Minds will blow. Night after amazing night. Millions of Australian jaws will drop.